So in this video, we're going to actually look at the MATLAB associated with the skateboarder validation that we talked about in the last video. So in the last video, we went through what the kinetic energy of the rider was, what the potential energy of the rider was, and so forth. In this video, we're actually going to look at that in MATLAB and try to make some sense of it. You've seen this code last semester, but I thought it was worth kind of resurrecting it in order to connect a little bit better to some of the things we're doing this semester. So first chunk of code we'll look at is just the sort of setup code. So here I've defined what the gravitational constant is, what the mass of the rider, mass of the ramp is, length of the ramp is, and various other initial parameters, right? So I'm just setting up the simulation. Then here I'm actually doing the simulation. So this ramp single run script or function just calls ODE45 and solves and passes out what the answers are right here in T and Y, as well as various other pieces of information that are useful. And then finally, the piece of code that we'll actually look at is this script that does validation of both the energy and the motion. So let's look over at that. And the part of it I want to mostly focus on is this part right here that has to do with calculating the energies, and then we plot the energies, right? So we're going to calculate the energies, as we said, by figuring out what the kinetic energy of the rider is. So here you can see we've got the 1/2 m, we've got the r dot squared, and so on, the potential energy of the rider, and the kinetic energy of the ramp. And as we noted before, the ramp has a potential energy as well, but it's not changing, so it's not actually going to change what the behavior of the system is. So let's go ahead and run that and take a look at what happens. So as you'll recall from last semester, we did a couple of things in this validation. One of the things we did is looked at what the state variables are. So I created these keyframes where the position of the rider starts out on the left, the rider starts to move up the ramp. Once the rider passes this pivot point, that's exerting a torque. There's a torque exerted on the ramp by the rider's normal force, which causes the ramp to start to rotate. At the same time, the riders experience a gravitational force down and a normal force from the ramp up and to the left, which in sum causes the rider to accelerate back down the ramp. The rider crosses past the pivot point. By that point, the ramp, though, has rotated quite a bit further down. The rider keeps on traveling back up the ramp due to the momentum that the rider has. Meanwhile, the rider is exerting a normal force down on the ramp, which causes the ramp to rotate back down. And finally, the motion ends when the rider exits the ramp to the left. Okay, so when I look at this all looks very, very sensible. So let's now go ahead and look at the energy for a second and see what's going on with the energy. So I've got the rider kinetic energy, which is in green, the rider potential energy in red, the ramp kinetic energy in blue, and the total energy in black. So let's start with the rider kinetic energy. Or actually, let's start with the rider potential energy. So if you follow the rider potential energy, you can see the rider's potential energy starts out at 0, gets pretty high at this point. So apparently at this time, which is marked by this vertical line, at that point, the rider's sort of gotten about as high as the rider's going to get. Right now, the rider has gone back down and is close to around the pivot point at this point in time. So that's what the potential energy is that's associated with being at the pivot point. Rises back up as the ramp lifts the rider back up, and then finally the potential energy of the rider drops down here, and then you've got this bit of a blip at the end when the ramp hits the ground. On the other hand, if we look at the kinetic energy, you can see the kinetic energy actually starts out high, right? The rider is moving up the ramp initially. The kinetic energy of the rider drops, and by this point it looks like the rider is basically stopped, right? Now the rider gains some kinetic energy and loses it again, and then something strange happens here. The kinetic energy appears to have gone negative at this point. And that's a little worrying because kinetic energy actually goes as 1/2 mv squared, right? Velocity squared is always positive, so there's something fishy going on here. Not only is there something fishy going on right here, but if I actually look at the total energy, it looks pretty constant, but when I actually look at it a little more closely, you can see that this is not constant in here. That's actually changing there, and it's really changing over here. So something looks like it's wrong with my code. And I would need to go back and take a look at the code. So let's go take a look at the code and figure out what's the matter with the code. So that's not where I want to go. I want to go here. So first place that I'll look is just to look at my energy calculation and make sure that that's right. So if I look at my energy calculation, I've got the kinetic energy of the rider is 1/2 m r times theta dot squared plus r dot squared, and right away I've actually identified what the error is. If you can see the error, congratulations. If you can't see the error, I'll point out that r times theta dot squared is not the same thing as r squared times theta dot squared. So I either need to put a parenthesis around these two or square the r as well as squaring theta dot. So if I do r squared times theta dot squared, now this, first of all, will be positive all the time. You can see that I get a positive number here and a positive number here. Before, when it was r here, when r was negative, this total quantity could have been negative. And also r squared times theta dot squared has the units of meters squared per second squared. So I'm going to guess that's probably what the error is. So I'll save it and we'll run the simulation again and see if things look a little bit prettier. So when I run this the second time, you can see that certainly the motion is exactly the same, because the problem with my validation there was not that the motion was wrong. The problem with my validation was that my calculation of the energy was wrong. And now we can actually see a couple of things. One of the things we see is when we look at the green line is always positive. It does go to zero at the points when the rider stops moving entirely. And you can also see that the total energy of the system now really looks pretty darn flat. And these sort of blips in it, those are much more likely to be numerical issues, but it's not doing the sort of funny business that it was doing before. Now you will note that there's this real drop in the energy at this point, and that has to do with the fact that there's actually a requirement in the code that when the ramp hits the ground, that theta dot goes to zero, that the ramp doesn't bounce, that there's actually an inelastic collision between the ramp and the ground. So when the ramp hits the ground, you can see a couple of things that happen. One is that the ramp kinetic energy drops abruptly, and in fact drops to zero because the ramp's kinetic energy is proportional to theta dot. The other thing you can see is the rider's kinetic energy drops as well. And of course the reason the rider's kinetic energy drops is that if we look at the rider's kinetic energy also depends on theta dot. So when theta dot goes to zero, the kinetic energy of the rider is going to drop as well. So this drop is one that is consistent with what we actually are saying is happening in the model. And in fact, once I've hit the ground and stopped the ramp, you can actually see that the total energy is conserved after that as well. It's just that you have loss in that collision.